Welcome to the first video of my BHL more in-depth goalie training videos. Today we're going to be learning about the most important part of being a goalie is positioning. Positioning is vital to being a goalie as it gives you the best chance to make saves and ultimately is just kind of what you need if you want to be anywhere near BHL ready. If you have awful positioning, it doesn't matter as much how much you can glove it because your gloving won't be as consistent as positioning can be. So, positioning, we will start off with my 3 arch system that I set up. I'm putting that up on the screen now. So, the green arch is arch 1, and you use that for P3s and further shots. And coming back to this, it's usually between this dot, this red dot, the neutral zone ones, and the red line. Because that's about how far you can get it into the net still. So that's kind of your first arch. You're going to be playing visually from this post. They all start from the post because that's kind of super important. Goes all the way up. You can play at the top hash, you can play at the middle hash, you can play at the bottom hash. Any of these work for your outer one and back up. So a puck that's over here. Where might you be standing? Probably around here. Either around there, maybe a little more left, whatever. But you'll be standing up super far as it gives you the most amount of coverage from that player. Or it gives you the most amount of coverage so that player can't just P3 right into the corner. If you're standing back here, they've got a lot more to work with, essentially, in terms of shooting. Now, back up on the screen, arch 2 is going to be, might be a little overlapping. Could be from the red dot or blue line up until the center dot in your zone. And this is going to be some P3s, some Super 5s. Some curves might make it, but usually not. And looking back here, it's going to be starting at the post. It's going to be about a block or two out from your last one. Basically, this is anything in the intermediate range that's not directly like on the crease or the block right above the crease. It's going to be this kind of middle area. And a lot of people, when you have a more passive goalie style, I see a lot of guys, even for the further shots, they'll stick in this area. It is a comfort thing. Ultimately, you aren't covering as much of the goal. But if you're more comfortable and you feel like you have more time to make glove saves, this is perfectly fine. If you want to stay in this arch 2 for the far shots, I would recommend the further out arch, but if you really can't or you're super passive, this is fine as well. Putting it back up on the screen, next is the orange. This is arch 3. This is the oh shit arch. This is the arch that is generally when they're super pushed up in your zone. The arch that, they pass it from deep in your zone to the center. You'll be playing in this arch. So coming back, this arch is going to be from the pole, and you just kind of want to follow your crease. You want to follow your crease around. So that'll be like hugging the post, kind of out like this. And yeah, it's going to be that arch. And this is for the dot and in. Obviously, super close shots. You want to be here. You want to be more in for these super close shots. And yeah. So basically, that's the third arch. And now, why these arches are important, or why these positions are important. So basically, when you're standing here on this outer part, let's say it's a breakaway. This guy's here, you're standing here, and he's right on the puck, so you can't push, or else, you just lost it. So you kind of just have to sit here. You have to sit here, and maybe this guy takes it left. Bad example, because I kind of wanted that further left. But let's say he takes it left. maybe not in P2 fashion, but essentially you have to go this way, and the puck's already way out, right? I shouldn't have P2'd it, but you get the gist. If it's out like that and you're here, you still got to come this way, and there's still so much real estate that they can score from. So that's why in that middle part, you want to be in arch 2, because you fall back and you're more likely to cover that shot. But on the other hand, if you're in arch 1 for this shot, there's just so much real estate to either side that you might not be covering. And that's why it's important to be in the right arch. Because if you're too far in and it's a longer shot, they're going to have too much real estate. If you're in this middle part and they're up close, obviously they can do the same thing that I just showed up here, where they can just go around you super easily. And obviously if you're super far out and they're like right here, again, just take it out around you. You're more susceptible to passing plays because you can't cover as much ground. So that's why that's super important. Another thing, one thing that is super important, that if you take anything away from this video, it should be this: center the puck to your chest. Basically, whatever you do, keep the puck in front of you. Keep it in front of you. Keep it inside of your chest. Obviously, you don't want to be like here if they're coming this way, because you're just way out of net. Which brings me into my next point, which is draw a line from either the head or, body, like shoulders, of the player that is attacking, through the puck into the center of your net, usually. So if I'm looking this way as a player, I want to draw a line through that, to the center of my net, which would be here. And since it's this close, I would probably be standing about here, which will give you the most coverage and will give you the best coverage. Obviously, if they're looking far side like that, you kind of, again, want to draw it through them to where they're looking into your net. So even if they're looking far side, you don't want to be sitting here, because now that whole side's open, they could get it. So again, drawing it through their chest to the middle will be here, and this will give you the best chance, the best coverage to save it. Another little tip, little cheater tip, I like to call it, is when you're hugging this post and these players are in here, typically they can't shoot far post if you're covering it. So if you need to, cheater your crosshair in a little bit or down where they might P3 it, P or Super 5 it, stuff like that. But you can cheater your cursor in. I especially do this when people are in the corner, maybe looking to pass. If they're in the corner like that, you're able to hold it like this. So if they curve, bam. If they curve, bam. If they pass it, slide, you're still there. You're ready. Because your cursor's looking that way. Now we're going to do I don't have anyone with me right now, but I'm going to show you a drill that you can do with a coach or someone, just whoever. And this is going to test your positioning. It's called a stop drill. Now the stop drill I made, all the drills I'll be using, except for a couple, are going to be drills that I personally came up with. So the stop drill, essentially on a breakaway, skater can do whatever, and they'll say stop. And now they'll stop to where they're looking on the puck, and then you as the goalie will stop. And you'll kind of see where you're at. He'll shoot it. If you save it, that means you're in the right position. Obviously, if it's some insane shot where he just did a curl, like a curve or something, obviously that's maybe not your fault. But this should be more basic movements if you're a coach trying to teach this. You should be just crit chaining and giving off, purposely trying to give off signals of where you're going, so that that goalie kind of can simulate knowing where you're going to go. Obviously, once you get in a game, you're not going to know where a player's going. They could curve it, they could pull back, they could do all this other fancy stuff. But when you're in training, you should be practicing knowing where to go. So again, for this drill, as a goalie, you're just going to be going through your 3 arches, wherever you need to be to follow that puck. And then once he says stop, you just stop, crouch down, have him shoot it at you. If it goes past, or if it's near you, it means you were probably in the right position. So that's the drill for this. And lastly, we're going to go over something Mountie pointed out to me, which is very important, is your play style. A more aggressive play style, you'll be out further. What this allows you to do is, let's say this guy out here, it's his first touch, he just picked the puck off. Okay, well that didn't go very far. But his first touch might go a little bit further, especially if he sprint resets it on accident. So you as a goalie have to understand, and you have to gauge the distance to be either like, okay, I have time to push this and hit it out, or I don't, and I'm going to play more back. As an aggressive play styles, they'll usually push that more often than not, and more defensive play styles will either not push it at all, most likely, and then kind of a balanced play style is you'll push it if you feel super confident in it. You won't push it. Oh my gosh, you won't push it if you're less aware of it. So learning which play style you are really affects how you're going to play. And once you stick with a style that's comfortable, you can learn to position more aggressively, less aggressively within those arches. It's all up to you. Just kind of determining what kind of play style you have will be really helpful in improving as a player. So we're going to go over the recap of the positioning video. Obviously the 3 arches, I'll put that back up on screen real quick so you can look over that. And then drawing a line from your opponent through the puck to the center of your net. Also comes with centering the puck on your screen, on your chest, and always keeping it in front of you. The little cursor trick that I showed you. And then we also went over the different play styles that you can be and a practice drill. So now that you have all those tools and that information, good luck with training and stay tuned because we have more videos coming. Thank you.